In today's breaking news, we're bringing you one of the most anticipated financial updates of the year, one that could change the lives of millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Veterans Affairs, VA, benefits. The talk of a potential one-time deposit worth $5,450 has taken the nation by storm. And with the stakes so high, it's important to separate the facts from the fiction. Before we jump in, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. You don't want to miss any updates on this groundbreaking financial relief effort. Today's news centers around the $5,450 one-time deposit that is currently circulating through various reports and media outlets. This amount represents a potential financial lifeline for millions of people who depend on fixed monthly benefits for their survival, particularly as inflation and the cost of living continue to rise. You might be wondering, what exactly is this $5,450 payment? Is it confirmed? And most importantly, how can it help beneficiaries like you? First, let's understand the background behind this development. The U.S. government has been under increasing pressure to address the growing financial difficulties many Americans face, especially seniors, people with disabilities, and veterans. Inflation has been a significant factor, making it harder for those living on fixed incomes to keep up with rising costs, from groceries to healthcare, to basic necessities. The Social Security Administration, SSA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, and other relevant agencies have been working to find ways to ease this burden. Various legislative proposals and advocacy efforts are currently on the table, some of which have proposed additional one-time payments to Social Security and VA recipients as a response to the rising cost of living. Let's get into the details of this payment and break it down further. There has been significant buzz surrounding the reported $5,450 one-time deposit. Some believe it will be a game changer, providing a much-needed boost to beneficiaries. However, it's important to note that this figure is still in proposal stages and has not been confirmed by the government. While many media outlets have been covering this potential payment extensively, it's crucial to understand that these payments are not guaranteed. They are part of ongoing legislative discussions that are still very much in the air. That said, let's examine how these discussions came to be and what they mean for you. The issue of rising inflation and the increasing cost of living is not a new one. For years, many recipients of Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefits have been struggling to keep up with the ever-increasing prices of everyday items. From the rising cost of food to healthcare and prescription medications, many beneficiaries have seen their purchasing power dwindle. Social Security, for example, has not been able to keep up with the rapid inflation that has characterized recent years. The same can be said for SSI and SSDI recipients, who often rely on their monthly benefit payments to meet their basic needs. These payments, though essential, often fall short of covering all of their living expenses, especially in today's economic climate. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed the government take extraordinary steps to provide relief to millions of Americans. One of the most significant measures during that period was the stimulus payments, which helped individuals and families weather the financial storm brought on by the pandemic. These payments, which were distributed to millions of Americans, set a precedent for future direct financial support. While those payments were temporary, there is now a renewed call for similar relief for Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA beneficiaries, especially as the pandemic's long-term economic impacts continue to be felt. The potential $5,450 one-time payment is seen as one such initiative to provide much-needed relief. However, we must remember that these payments, if they happen, will need to be carefully planned and managed to ensure they reach the people who need them most. Now that we understand the backdrop, let's take a closer look at who would be eligible for this potential one-time payment. According to various proposals, this payment would primarily target current beneficiaries of Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits. Let's break it down by category. For Social Security retirees, many are finding that their monthly benefits no longer stretch far enough to cover basic living expenses. For some, the $5,450 could provide critical relief, especially for seniors who live solely off their benefits and have no other sources of income. The need for additional support is further compounded by healthcare costs, especially for seniors who may have frequent medical needs. This proposed payment could help retirees cover some of those unexpected medical bills or purchase essential items they have had to delay due to financial constraints. For SSI beneficiaries, the situation is often even more dire. SSI provides a lifeline to those who are aged, blind, or disabled and have limited financial resources. Many recipients live well below the poverty line, struggling to meet even their most basic needs. A payment like the $5,450 could go a long way in helping these individuals catch up on bills, purchase necessary medical equipment, or meet other basic needs. The financial challenges faced by SSI recipients are particularly severe because, unlike Social Security retirees, many do not have the cushion of personal savings or assets. This proposed payment would provide crucial relief to those who are most in need. For SSDI beneficiaries, the situation is also incredibly important. Individuals who have become disabled and are unable to work often face extraordinary medical expenses and other associated costs. These individuals typically live with the added burden of healthcare-related costs, which can be substantial. The proposed $5,450 one-time deposit would help alleviate some of those financial burdens by providing a buffer against unexpected medical expenses or other necessary purchases that they may have delayed due to limited income. Lastly, our nation's veterans are also part of this discussion. Veterans who receive VA benefits, especially those with service-connected disabilities, often face unique challenges. Whether dealing with healthcare needs or limited income, many veterans find it difficult to manage their finances. The proposed one-time payment would serve as a form of recognition and relief for veterans who have given so much for our country. This payment could help veterans cover expenses such as medications, healthcare, or other necessities that directly affect their quality of life. While the idea of a one-time deposit of $5,450 is certainly promising, there are several factors that need to be considered before this payment can become a reality. Let's walk through some of the key considerations. For any one-time payment to be implemented, it must first be approved through the proper legislative channels. This could involve extensive debates, discussions, and negotiations in Congress. While lawmakers are aware of the financial struggles faced by many recipients, it's important to remember that funding such a program requires substantial budgetary allocation and careful financial planning. This means that even though the $5,450 figure is being discussed, it is not a guaranteed amount. Much will depend on the political process and whether sufficient funding can be secured. The government must determine where the money will come from to fund this proposed payment. Social Security and VA benefits are already significant financial commitments for the federal budget, and a one-time deposit could have broader implications for the overall financial system. Policymakers must ensure that the payment is fiscally responsible and does not compromise the long-term stability of Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA programs. As we've discussed, the potential for a $5,450 one-time deposit is certainly exciting, but it's important to wait for official announcements before making any financial plans based on these reports. As with any major proposal, things can change quickly, and beneficiaries should stay informed through official channels. We encourage everyone to monitor the news closely and stay connected to reliable sources, such as the Social Security Administration and the Department of Veterans Affairs.